Good afternoon. So, how is everybody? I hope everybody's hanging in there. A couple of things I kind of wanted to bring up because it's been coming up in my thoughts a lot over and over. One is that we don't have to be homeschoolers. Just because our kids are at home potentially for the rest of the school year doesn't make us like homeschooling for life. So, it's okay that it's not going to be perfect and orderly and all of that for the next couple of months. Okay. Because honestly, I had the realization that it's like, given the constraints that we're under with having to do curriculum and such, I don't want to homeschool either. Like, I can't wait to take my kids back to school. I love their teachers because they get to deal with all this stuff. But I also realized that if I were to homeschool, they wouldn't be doing curriculum like this. They wouldn't have to do their writing every day and their math every day and their whatever. It wouldn't have to be strict and orderly and scheduled, because for me, that's where the problems have stemmed from. When my kids are unhappy, it's because they have to do 4 math assignments a day and 2 stories with questions, and it's just unengaging material, unfortunately. So for me, if I were to homeschool my kids, which I might, I haven't decided yet. We'll have to see what changes are coming. Right now I'm leaning towards no, because it's hard for me to do my stuff and school them the way I would like to. But I may not have to be doing, we'll see. Changes are coming. But yeah, so, but I wouldn't be schooling them like that. I wouldn't be like 9 to 10, we're doing math and blah, blah, blah. It would be much more holistic and natural in its approach. So it would be, it wouldn't be me coming up with a million projects all the time. It would be me watching where they go naturally and creating learning through that, or creating the connections in the learning that they automatically do on their own. And that's where ultimately I'd like to see it go. So a lot of people, I think, are still like, oh, I'm not a very good homeschooling mom and blah, blah, blah. And you're not. So stop telling yourself that story. Yes, we have to do it for now. But things, no one expects it to look the same as it does in school, because it isn't the same as it is in school. And thank God for that. Because I wouldn't want to have to sit here for 7 hours a day and work on stuff with my kids anyways. So, just know that, this is not a permanent, you're going to have to be homeschooling your children. So that, I think, can give a little bit of ease in the situation. And then I realize also that when I have not been good with my kids in this past couple of weeks is when I have not been being present. When I was looking at all of this as an obstacle as opposed to a learning experience, or continuing for my focus on what I would like to see and what I'm going to do differently in my school when I open it and create it, and what I would like for my kids to have ultimately for their schooling until they get to the age where they'd be in my school. Because my school is going to be middle and secondary. But I can still prepare them for that kind of learning right now, for the project base, for the creating, for the scientific learning, because that's, to me, the best type of learning there is. And sending them to regular school isn't necessarily accomplishing that in the way that I would like it to. Where they are now is a much better choice than a traditional public school, but I'm still not 100% contented with, because they're stuck under the constraints of Common Core curriculum and stuff, and a lot of that stuff is really boring and not really engaging the learners' brains in the way I would like to see that happen, especially with my unique learners. So I'm going off topic here, but I do that weirdly enough. But yeah, so I really just reminding everybody to be present when you're here. We started doing make sure there's playtime at least 10 to 15 minutes every hour. And so the kids are getting outside. Luckily, we're in our really, really nice weather time of year. It's like 75 degrees today and beautiful. And so I'm making sure that they're getting out and getting some sunshine, getting out. Oh, sorry, my cat's climbing all over my computer. getting out and playing, moving their bodies, laughing, being less serious. So it's not always like work, 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 because they were getting frustrated with that. And I was getting frustrated with them because they were needing my help and wanting my attention. And I was like, I'm trying to work. And honestly, when they're playing, they allow me the time to work. So when I really need to get stuff done, I'm like, go play. And they go and they do a game or they bounce on the trampoline and they leave me alone for 20 minutes so I can get my stuff done. So I think that there has to be, the balance should be more play, less work, 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 work. Just my 2 cents on that, because I've noticed that that's made my life a lot easier when I'm kind of, when I'm more present and allow them to kind of not have to be on such a strict schedule. Some of you may work well on a strict schedule, but it's not been my experience in my life. And I'm not very good at that anyway, so I can't, I don't know, I never know what time it is. So, yeah, so just, be gentle, be present. The kids need attention. They're used to, other adults giving them love and attention, and they're not getting that now either, and they miss their friends and all that. So breathe in and out. We got this. We can do it. You can do it. And this is temporary. And if you don't want to homeschool your kids ever again, that's great. It's not, you don't have to do that. But again, if you decide that this might be something that you're realizing the school curriculum isn't necessarily my cup of tea and it's not really that and something that I really care that my kids learn, then maybe you should think about homeschooling and the idea that homeschooling wouldn't look the same. It can look how you want it to look in a lot of ways, and not necessarily following the strict curriculum, Common Core stuff. So give it a thought. I don't know. We'll see. I like I said, I have a lot of decisions to make about my own life and my children's schooling in the next couple months myself. So if we can get back on the road and I can do RVing and stuff, then I think that road schooling would absolutely be the way I'm headed. But I'm not sure. Who knows where we'll be as a collective in that time. So yes, give it some thought and reach out with your ideas. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.